Welcome to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus, Wiley. Looking forward to the weekend, but I can't lie, in this household, the weekend has already started. My kids go to private school. I'm not up here to brag and talk about how much money I am spending on their education right now. I'm here to tell you that at private schools, they never go to school. They go to an amazing school. I'm joking, but in all seriousness, I don't remember this many days off in a public school. And right now, my kids are at home. So if you see some little chunky fingers, 4-year-old, 2-year-old, 7-year-old walking in here looking for fish sticks, those are my kids who are supposed to be at school, but they're stomping through this house right now. We have a great show lined up for you guys. I really want to get started with something that hit me upside the head this morning. I was distracted, I can't lie. I totally forgot that Rihanna, who performed at this year's Super Bowl in 2023, was the same Rihanna that rejected the offer from the NFL in 2018. Oh my God. I have not seen the headlines for this. I had not seen this front page news. I think we all got distracted. Why? We were waiting for Rihanna to have a live performance since 2016? So we were so thirsty for it that when she finally announced that she would do a live performance after having her first baby, everybody lost their mind and no one came to their senses. Let's go back to 2018 when it was the flavor of the month or flavor of the year to protest the NFL, to boycott the NFL. And how dare you actually stand on a moral ground that says, hey, I think the NFL is imperfect, but the NFL is doing its best, and therefore I'm not going to protest it. The same NFL that makes thousands and thousands of black millionaires every single career. Now let's talk about this. Because Rihanna came out with some comments, and I don't want to paraphrase it because this is sensitive. I get it. I'm already dividing people. People going to jump on one side or the other. And you know me, I like to walk right in the middle and talk both sides. Let's get some of these quotes out. Rihanna said back in 2018 the reason she didn't want to do the NFL Super Bowl halftime was, and I quote, "I couldn't dare do that. For what? Who gains from that? Not my people. I just couldn't be a sellout." Oh, she went there. She used the word. I couldn't be an enabler. Oh, okay. Now, if people hear that and you still be like, yeah, that's right, Rihanna. That's what people were doing right now. Kaepernick, you're in solidarity with him. Kaepernick wasn't playing. He was protesting. He was suing the league. That's right. Stand with Cap. Stand with your people. Here's the thing. It's 2023 right now. Kaepernick's still not playing. Kaepernick's still on the sidelines trying to get in. What changed, Rihanna? Because you can't use that same reason anymore, or, let's say it, you're a hypocrite. So we know that things have changed from 2018 to 2023 in perception, but in reality, what has really changed with the NFL in terms of what they're doing? Maybe you're talking about some of their global initiatives. Maybe you're talking about their outreach into the community. Maybe you're talking about the fund they created, whatever it is. But it's not in solidarity to Kaepernick, because if it were, you wouldn't have performed this year. Uh-oh, Rihanna, we're not done. You said you changed your mind because you now value black representation. Quote, "There's still a lot of mending to be done in my eyes." Here comes the but it's powerful to break those doors and have representation at such a high level and a consistent level. Now, y'all know I always clown people. Whenever they say hi, or they say I love you, they don't really love you like that. They don't really think hi. Like one hi is good enough. When you go to double hi, it almost takes away from the first hi. But she said that in quote. Here's the thing. Is that really true that you now look at black representation differently in 5 years? Because you've been black a lot longer than the last 5 years, correct? Or, let's be real about this, you waited for somebody else to take that L first. And then you said, Jay-Z took the position and everybody came at him. And I know Jay-Z, I see him at school all the time. They were coming at Jay-Z's head. Or did you wait for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and Eminem and Mary J. Blige to take whatever potential criticism that will come from them performing at the Super Bowl halftime as black performers. Yeah, I said Eminem too. He black. No, I'm just kidding. But the point is, you waited for them to take that heat, take that hell. And then the next year, all of a sudden, you back out there and performing at the halftime show. Boy, I've heard it before, but this is a case of showing the world at large and history that we have the weakest protesters and boycotters of any generation ever. You imagine if somebody was protesting and said the things she said in connection and none of those things have changed, and all of a sudden she just says, you know what? It's time for me to throw a baby shower at the halftime show, and okay, I'll perform, and I just want to have this big baby shower, and everyone watches it, and they watch it more than they actually watch the game. Do y'all know that the ratings were higher for the halftime show than it was for the game? 118 million to 113 million, unreal. Because we all forgot. We all were distracted. We were all mesmerized by Riri, right? Well, she needs to get her an umbrella, because it is raining BS right now. I love you, Rihanna, but damn it, you're going to have to come realer than this right now because I'm not seeing the connections. Now, you are allowed the opportunity, like anybody and everybody, to change your mind. To just say, you know what, I was on one back then. Or to say, you know what, I still believe that, but forget it. It's the Super Bowl halftime. Enough time has passed. Kaepernick ain't going to ever play. Let me go get mine. Whatever it is, but keep it real. Keep it 100. You're a billionaire. You got great companies. We know you're amazing as an artist. And this is no shot at you. This is a shot at what you have done and why you say you did it. So I'm looking at this in totality and just giggling like, look, when you're trying to make such a grand statement, you also got to have deep, complex intel about what you are now declaring. To say that the NFL is racist, I just thought that that was not only egregious, but it was extreme, especially when it was in connection to just one player who started the dominoes to fall. But that same player, this is why I say this is the weakest protest and boycotting generation ever. That same player who protested, who took a knee, who also sued the NFL, wanted to play. It seems like you were in solidarity with Kaepernick. As much as you protested and boycotted the NFL and rejected their offer before, in reality, kind of like Kaepernick, you still wanted to play. Perform. I get it, y'all, but we got to stop with this grandstanding, y'all. Or ride it all the way through. Do the NBA All-Star, damn it. Do something else. Do hockey. I don't know. But the point is, man, we all forgot. Now, we all know. It's going to be interesting to see what comes from this. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, it's time to talk about the big dog in the NFL, the GOAT in the making, Patrick Mahomes, who said he never feels like an underdog. Oh, I love him for saying that. We'll discuss that next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reese TV. Sorry, Riri. Just got to keep it real. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. Your boy Marcellus Wiley here, and I'm about to talk about that big dog. You know me. I like to call everyone big dog. I'm actually stealing this from the late, great Junior Seau, who used to call everyone buddy. Hey, buddy, what's up, buddy? Even if he knew your name, it was cover for the guys and the people he didn't know their names, right? I mean, you're Junior Seau. You're born and raised in San Diego, down south, right? Southern California. You go to college right here at USC, Southern California. You play pro right there in San Diego again, where you're from. You know how many trillions of people he met over his life, right? And so to give himself cover, and we used to giggle all the time. He laughed. He told us about it. He said, dude, I can't remember names. I'm just going to call everyone buddy. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm really bad with names, so everybody's big dog. Love you, Junior Seau, the late great. I've stolen a lot of things from him, but that's probably the one I use on the daily. But let's talk about the big dog in the NFL, the GOAT in the making, Patrick Mahomes, who came out in a statement. You know, right now, he's on that post-Super Bowl win tour, Disneyland, obviously, all of the talk shows, nighttime shows. Half the time I see him now, he's drunk because, hey, that's what you do when you win a Super Bowl. You drink and talk to everybody. But this was a sober moment. This wasn't him drunk talking. Patrick Mahomes says that he doesn't and never feels like an underdog. And I thought that was amazing because I've gotten into countless arguments with people who, when they look at me from the outside or based on my circumstances, let's go to it. You know it. All right, Compton. All right. You got to be an underdog in this world, right? You're from Compton. It's hard, the adversity, the gangs, the drugs, the poverty, the ills, right? I thought the low ambition was the most pervasive. That was the toughest thing. People were aiming too low. I hated that part about growing up in the hood. But everyone looked at me like, oh, man, you're an underdog, man. You got to go fight for it. And I ain't going to lie. I've taken that moniker. I've put it on my sleeve, and I've run with it. But in my heart, in my mind, I never thought I was an underdog because I never thought I was down on my luck or down in the score or thought I was ever less than anybody else. So when I hear Patrick Mahomes say that, I know immediately we all think, well, it's easy for him to say that. He's already won 2 Super Bowls, been in 3, he's been to 5 straight AFC championship games, MVP twice, blah, 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 right? But this is not a talent-based conversation. This is not a result-based conversation. This is Patrick Mahomes telling you the mindset he has to become that successful. Y'all catch that? The mindset I had growing up in Compton to get out of Compton, to go to Columbia, to go to the NFL. Which distance is greater? Be real. Compton to Columbia or Columbia to NFL? Like they're both like, who writes this, right? I mean, it sounds like a Hollywood script, and I'm being humble. But the real is, it's easier, and it's still hell to pay, difficult to do, but it's easier when you don't look at yourself as the underdog, right? I looked at myself like I'm on the field just like you, trying to score points in life just like you, and I'm competing against myself first, then those in my proximity, and then the world at large. That was it. That was my mindset. And it's just amazing when I hear others and those who are successful echo the same thing. Mind over matter. Be greater than your greatest excuse. Because this whole underdog, no one ever raises their hand when they wake up in the morning. You know, you're like, look over, hey, what's up, baby? Okay, good. Woo! You know, golly, got to go get these, right? Brush these teeth. And you don't put your feet out the bed, slip on the slippers and say, I look forward to a day of being the underdog, a day where people look at me like I'm less than, a day where they don't expect me to do anything, but I'll show them. Not a single damn soul in this world has ever wanted to be an underdog. So I wonder, why do they throw it around so often? And even to me, why do I even embrace it? Why do I let people label me as an underdog? You know, last night I go to this USC NIL donation party. Caleb Williams was there, y'all. Got a picture with him and everything. I was lying to all of them because they were like, what are you doing here, Marcellus? You went to Columbia. I was like, my son, MJ, early commit. I know he's only 7, but y'all need to see him play flag. You got to see him play flag. He's insane. But in all seriousness, I mean, it's big time. Caleb Williams is there getting paid, taking pictures, Q&A. His O-line is there. But the point of it is, you're not in that position ever thinking that you're an underdog. You want to be an underdog. No, you got to think you're a big dog. He even spoke on this yesterday. And I'm just laughing like no one ever wants to be number 2. Now, obviously, we know how this world works, right? Someone's going to be second place. Someone's going to be third place. But somebody also is going to be the winner. And I've always thought anything that I apply myself to. Now, catch this. Not I can do anything. I can do everything. I hate when parents tell kids that. No, he can't. No, she can't. Like, it's okay. I can't draw. And I will never be a great drawer. I'll never be a great artist. Oh, yes, she can. You can go to school and learn like everybody else. Yeah, but I don't have that natural gift to add all of that work onto. Imagine I draw against somebody who's just at 3 years old, Picasso, right? And then he works as hard as I work. Let's just say he's gonna draw a little bit better than me. It's okay. There's a lot, I can't play basketball. Y'all know I not only have tried to play basketball, have gotten training for basketball, I'm a basketball coach and I still suck. So the point is, that's okay. I throw that away. That's in the other pile. In this pile, oh, I could talk that talk. In this pile, oh, I could put something together and think through some situations. In this pile, oh, I could play some football. So you got to just add up what you have and stop worrying about the things you can't do, because I'm sure the list of things you can do is not only unexplored, but also something that could take you to the next level. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for please telling these people how it's about the journey of your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? Your mind, it sits there and it tells you, it gives you the fuel for this journey. Your spirit is out there helping you navigate with your mind, the fuel and the GPS, and your body's the vehicle. Wherever you program me and tell me, I am going to go there. Man, I wish I could go where Patrick Mahomes is going, which is to the Super Bowl, to Disneyland, and to whatever he's doing in terms of dynasty and GOAT. But it doesn't matter. In my world, I am the big dog. In your world, make sure you are as well. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, oh, it's time to get dark in here. And I'm not talking about my complexion. I'm not talking about my color. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. He's going dark. A dark retreat. Let's talk about what that means and why it's so important. That's next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. Marcellus Wiley here with you guys, and let's get in a dark place. Let's go to a dark place like Aaron Rodgers is. Reports are Aaron Rodgers is going on a dark retreat for 4 days. A dark retreat. Let's be real about this. How many of you guys have ever even been on a retreat? I went on a retreat because I went to a Catholic school my last 2 years, and we would have to take a retreat up to the mountains. And like everybody else, especially at that age, you hear the word retreat and you're not thinking of fun, right? You're not thinking this is going to be good. You're not even trying to respect that it could be for your mental and spiritual health. Forget all that. Man, I am going where? With nothing but me? And it's funny, we should pause in that moment. Because that's really telling us something. That without the technology, without your favorite TV show, without your favorite songs, with you just listening to your own thoughts, to your own heartbeat. You ever been there, heard your own heartbeat? I have. And then that quiet time and that solace. What are you listening to? And what, more importantly, are you hearing? And I think that Aaron Rodgers, the great, we know Aaron Rodgers, no matter how high he's climbed, has come to the understanding and realization that he needs to charge his batteries as well. And what a beautiful way to do it. A dark retreat. Like you go somewhere and you're unplugged from everything, because let's not lie. Even going to bed, when you're going to bed, you should turn off all the lights, right? Turn off all the gadgets, right? Turn off all the electronics. Maybe you've done that. A, B, C. Box check, box check, box check. But now I'm about to catch you. You put the phone next to you on the nightstand. You put the charger in it. And this is what happens. My phone's off, right? Put it down. I click the charger in it, and what happens? It lights up, right? Because it shows you that time in your screen page. And then I look and I say, oh, that crack. It just says one more. It says one more look on Instagram. One more DM to check that you can't respond to because you're married. Just one more. And you're like, your thumb just hits it. Your thumb just goes, give me that. Give me that. Oh, Pookie, right? You're on crack. And then next thing you know, here you go. And next thing you know, it's 20 minutes later. And then it's 30 minutes later. And you're like, man, damn. All right, I'm done. Put it up. You turn it face down because you're like, I need some strength. I need some courage. You're like, face down. And now it's going to take you a little longer to go to sleep because you've just been lit up by the gadget and stimulated, right? Crazy. Aaron Rodgers, you imagine being Aaron Rodgers? Like all of the news and headlines, and he doesn't have to do a Aaron Rodgers search. Aaron Rodgers hits him in the face every single day as soon as he wakes up. It's like, yeah, you're Aaron Rodgers. People calling. You got the agent. You got the financial advisor. You got your business manager. You got your partners. And like, okay, Aaron Rodgers, I can throw a football really well. Thank you, guys. But where does Aaron Rodgers go back? Kind of put his life on ice, and then charge up. Such a smart thing. Not only for Aaron Rodgers, for us. That retreat I went to, St. Monica's High School, was amazing. One, I got to go on a retreat with all my classmates, and you get to learn different things about people, obviously, when we didn't have cell phones back then. I'm talking about 1990, y'all. But we didn't have anything. We couldn't even bring our Walkman. We couldn't even bring our headphones. I snuck them in. Come on, man. I'm still, come on, dogs. From the hood. I had to do it. But I didn't use them because I was engaged with everybody. Like learning layers, and then, they put you in the campfire circle, and you're sitting there, and you got to tell them something that people don't know about you or something that is painful to you. And next thing you know, you over there roasting scores and having s'mores and marshmallows, and you look around, you're loving people. You look around, you feel better. You look around, you're starting to hug. You look around the dude that you were a little off on or didn't really like. Yeah, all right. He just going through some things, right? And that's what the beauty of that retreat was. But I still went in a group. A personal retreat. One thing that I learned from my best friend about myself is that as gregarious or outgoing I am, I'm actually a quiet type. Because he's known me since second grade. I'm actually really introspective. Like if you see me off camera, you see me walk around the house, I am perfectly fine not saying a word. The thing is, I am married and I got 4 kids. So that time is few and far between. But trust me, I can just ride. I'll take 2-hour drives, nothing on. And I'm just listening to myself. Why? Because I'm recording what is going on in my head. I want to know how healthy I am mentally. I look at mental health like I look at physical health. You got to make choices. You got to make decisions. You got to fight. You got to work. You got to want it. Like everyone looks at mental health like whatever fleeting thoughts come in my head, I just got to deal with them. No, you don't. Soon something stupid comes in my head, and I mean every level. I've thought about suicide before. I've thought deep depression before. I've thought, oh my God, I'm the man and nobody could touch me before. I thought, I am heaven sent to this world before. And I'm always in negotiation to doing the right thing and the healthy things with those thoughts. So when something bad comes to my head, I go to war. Get your butt up out of here. And if something good comes to my head, I make sure I cultivate it, but I also contain it. Because we know when you start feeling yourself, the world stops feeling you the same, right? You get a little different. So I never want to be in that position. But understand how your mental health has to be based on how you're working at it. You got to go to the gym. You got to go on retreats, right? You catch the parallels. You got to put in the work when you're in the gym. You actually got to go there and listen to yourself, engage with yourself. Then you can unlock the spiritual health, which is sitting there in abundance, always waiting for you to do the right thing. It's your mind that got you all messed up. And obviously, then your body will follow. So Aaron Rodgers is a smart guy. Obviously, we know him. He'll tell you if you don't know. He'll tell you how smart he is. But to that point, I don't think there's anything smarter I've heard from him in a long time than this. Go on your dark retreat, especially after last offseason when everybody was coming at his head. And let's be real, a lot of it was self-imposed because Aaron Rodgers was on one last year. And as he's going through this journey, this roller coaster ride of retirement, fourth quarter of football, end of the road, he's going to act out a little bit, right? Who wouldn't if you were losing something so precious and so good to you? You will sit there and fight for it and also scratch and claw for it. But it's good to see that he's also trying to come at it in peace, at peace as he goes on the dark retreat. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV, you know it's time for the full episode, time to get raw. I had an amazing conversation with a group of people in Black History Month saying how much is racism still alive. I said, why not talk it on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reese TV. Right. Welcome back to Never Shut Up, the full episode, right? Oh, the raw edition. We're here on Brinks TV, and it's time to talk about racism. Let's start where this started with me. My best friend's birthday. I feel like a 5-year-old. Say, my best friend, how about this? You want to feel younger than a 5-year-old? Say one of your best friends. One of my best friend's birthday party, right? I was with my ace. I really call him my ace. Of all people in my life, he's inspired me the most. That doesn't mean he's done the most for me. That doesn't mean that he supported me the most or any of those things. I'm going to say it again. He's inspired me the most. Like, he makes me want to be more angelic, no matter where I am in terms of that. He makes me want to work harder, no matter where I am in terms of success and results. Like everything I've always wanted to be, I've always thought of him as the ER. Like when I felt great, he was greater, right? When I wanted to do something and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm smart. And I was like, yeah, I am smart. He's smarter. Like all those things, it's just like the dude has gotten straight A's since I've known him. But actually, that's a lie. He got some B's in elementary school. That's when I thought I was smarter. And then he flipped the script and never got a B again. Valedictorian, went to Cornell, is a Wall Street executive on the West Coast, works at BlackRock. Google BlackRock, y'all. They own the world. And this dude is an executive there. He's next level, biggest heart in the world. Oh, unreal. But I'm at his house. And it's a bunch of us. We're having tacos. We're grubbing them. We fancy now. Tacos they got good shells now. They got the all meat. They had a condiment bar. Yeah, they had cilantro and they had different types of I was like, what happened to just ground beef, some cheese and lettuce and ketchup? Like, nope, we different now. But then all of that smiling and funniness, and it's 20 of us. Let me give you the demographic breakdown. Most of us are my age, so 40s, 50s. He's turning 49. Few kids, but they're outside. Rest, oh my God, one white person, right? And that's it. So they're talking about life. You know how you get your group text. When your group text, the real you, comes out in display and you can see the people you actually group text with all the time. You know all the stuff you don't put on social media because you know you get fired. That's who I was around, those people, right? So we keeping it real. And somehow, some way, they start talking about corporate America, like always, because 2 of them are Wall Street execs, and then everyone else is in the business somehow, some way. And then we start talking about racism. And respectfully, a lady who is super smart, intelligent as they can be, maybe in her mid-60s, who has a different experience with racism, started to talk. And we were sitting there and it started to diverge in terms of the conversation between what she thinks of the world today and what we thought of the world. And I'm like, I'm maybe 20 years younger than her, but immediately I went to conversations with my dad because he's 75. And my dad grew up in the South, Tyler, Texas. My dad has told me stories, and he keeps them short. But he's told me stories of, yeah, I had to walk on this side of the street. He told me stories. Yeah, I had to go to that water fountain. I had to go to that restaurant. He's told me stories. My dad, for $1, I want to say a summer, but it just doesn't make sense. It may be $1 a day. That sounds a little more reasonable. He used to pick cotton. My dad, who's still here, thankfully, used to pick cotton in the summers in high school. What's going on? And he said, I mean, obviously it's not slavery picking cotton because they were getting paid. But the point is, they still were doing it. And I'm like mind blown by all of those experiences. Why? Because I've never had any of those experiences. So right now, we know the conversation has evolved. We know that the world has evolved. America has evolved from what my dad went through at that age and what I went through. I'm at St. Monica's Catholic High School going on dark retreats. My dad is picking cotton night and day, right? But now I'm in this conversation and we're discussing racism today. And a lot of the conversation was centered around networking and how businesses failed. And basically, to keep it short, the older lady kept saying, I know too many black founders, too many black successful entrepreneurs who found it so difficult to find money and investment. Now that got countered with the executives saying that happens to white people too. But then she's like, no, but it happens more to black people. But then that got countered with, well, there are more white founders than blacks. So where are we going? There was an aggregate conversation and a relative conversation. And I was sitting there amazed, like, wow, even in this world, we're living in two different worlds. Because my dad lived in a different world than me. But now we're here, 2023, and we're still looking at the same world as two different worlds. So we didn't get into any argument. These are all friends. These are all great acquaintances. But we were really talking through it. So now I personalize it. I bring it home to you guys. When you face a struggle and you're black and someone white faces the same struggle, is that racism? Obviously not, you would say, right? When a black person hates on you, whether you're at the grocery store or going to school, whatever, and a white person hates on you the same exact way, they both call you ugly. They both call you short. They both call you slow. Racism? So when two things happen to someone, one thing I should say happens to two different people, what do you really call it? What she was doing, what she kept trying to tell us is when something bad was happening to these black founders, it was racism. But when we posed to her, what about the white founders that you know that didn't get funded? She would say usually lack of connection, lack of network. Maybe it was just a bad idea. Was the black idea bad? Was the black guy not in good relationship? Did he have a good network? I'm bringing all this up because I want you guys, and I know you're going to have these conversations in your group text circle, right? To kind of look at it and always beat up your own argument. Because by the end of the night, she was sitting there a little different than she started that night. Kind of in like, I never challenged it like that. Why? And I'll be respectful, but I'll be real. She was PTSD from her experience growing up. She had a completely different experience in terms of opportunity. She felt the glass ceiling greater than anybody could feel right now. So as we evolve in something on a journey that will never end because evil people exist, tribalism exists, and people are always going to call that or actually be racist. We know that, right? You're never getting rid of it. But is it really the greatest obstacle in your life? Is it? Where do you put it in terms of the things that you have to deal with in your world? I hear a lot of people now saying, even Idris Elba says, I think the power of racism is the power you give it, right? Think about it, because I had to challenge her, and she understood. You know how many black billionaires I know that I see on the daily? Damn, I wish they could say that about me, but I say it about them, point being. And we understand how this world works. We understand that the head start that all the other ethnic groups got over black people. But at the same time, we have to make sure we keep score in the present day, the here and now, and not just in the history. Well, let's switch gears and end this show the way we always end our show, with a Wileyism. I'm going to take y'all to the scriptures. Yes, as I go to church, and you know the pastor always dabs before he asks for the donation. He wants the one that folds, not the one that jiggles. This is a great Wileyism. It's a paraphrase off of a Bible quote. The gates to heaven are narrow and few come between. I remember reading this. I think I was like 8, 9 years old. My grandmother, super religious, religified. And I used to read the Bible with her. I've actually read the entire Bible. Don't ask me what was in any of them, the scriptures. I mean, you're talking about a big book, talking about little words. I was like, golly, but I read it. And obviously some major lessons were learned from it. But the gates to heaven are narrow and few come between told me at 9 years old, oh, if you're going to do something right, it's going to be hard and very few will do it. If you're going to achieve anything, it's going to be hard and very few will do it. The gates to heaven are narrow. That means all of us trying to get in here, it ain't going to work out like that. And few come between. The NFL, there are 1 million+ high school football players. Just last night, I was with 15 of them. All 15 of them are not going to the NFL. It's the pyramid of success, basically, where all the room and all the people are at the bottom. And then you start climbing and start climbing. It gets narrower. It gets slimmer. It gets harder. The gates to heaven are narrow at the top and few come between. All that is a challenge, but it's also a perspective. You got to compete. And when you're competing, nobody wants to hear all them excuses. You got to be greater than your greatest excuse. Nobody want to hear all those good reasons you have. You got to even be greater than them. So remember, always in your heart of hearts and looking at this world, that the gates to heaven, narrow and few come between. That'll do it for our Friday episode of Never Shut Up. Oh, the weekend's here because the weekend already started because my kids are out there waiting for daddy to take them to get some ice cream, do something with them, be a good daddy, right? You guys have a tremendous weekend. Make sure you love yourself first and then share that love with all those around you. Much love from the Never Shut Up crew. Talk to you next week. Peace. And get some merch while you're at it, damn it. Get some merch.